Hello and welcome to the Spring 2026 edition of Titan Sports, where we bring you the latest developments from across the national sports states and right here at Cal State Fullerton. I'm Jonathan Mansour.
Hey everyone, I'm Darek Beeman. Excited to join you all this semester.
What's up, Titan sports fans? I'm Joseph Bianchini, and it's a pleasure to join the desk.
Hey everybody, I'm Isabella Lyons. We have a lot to cover today, so without further ado, let's get the ball rolling. March is here, and college basketball's best are raising the stakes as we inch closer to postseason play. This past Monday, the number 2 ranked Arizona Wildcats took on number 6 Iowa State with the rights to the Big 12 regular season title on the line. After a tight-knit first 16 minutes, Arizona took control, creating easy paint touches and closing the first half on a 15-3 run that left the Cyclones in the dust. The Wildcats extended their lead in the second half behind 17 points from guard Jaden Bradley and a stellar 23 for 26 showing from the charity stripe. Inside senior forward Tobe Awaka dominated the glass, finishing 15 rebounds and securing his 6th double-double of the season. Iowa State clamped down all game. They shot a disastrous 29% from the floor in this one, their lowest mark since the NCAA tournament loss to Pittsburgh in 2023. This victory for Arizona grants them the Big 12 regular season championship and inches them closer to locking up a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So guys, this was a great win for Arizona. It was their senior night. They got to get all the guys in. Of course, Big 12 regular season title on the line. Going into this, I think we kind of knew that Iowa was going to have a hard time getting a win in McHale Center. It's Arizona's thing. And, they started the season 23-0. They had back-to-back losses. And I think that really struck concerns in fans. And they had those 2 losses. And now with this 5-game win streak, it's kind of them reclaiming that title to their fans. Dominating Kansas, dominating Iowa State, and they even beat Houston on the road.
For sure. Their only 2 losses on the year are Kansas and Texas Tech. Kansas, that was a game they let slip away. They had that in their grasp. And then Texas Tech don't have their best player, JT Toppin, the rest of the season. You take out those 2 losses, one of which Texas Tech will be weaker come Big 12 tournament or come March Madness. Kansas, that was a game that was very winnable. They had already beaten Kansas this year. To me, this looks like the number 1 team in the nation. Duke is very, very good, but this is a team who's bidding for the overall number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And I think they go as far as their guard duo, Braden Burries and Jaden Bradley. And we saw that in this game. They have 2 play styles that play off one another very well. Bradley can get to the free throw line. Burries has got a better outside shot. And I just think this team looks like a serious problem come March Madness time.
And speaking of Braden Burries here, he had 11.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Even on tweaking his ankle in the first half, I think that will really rise up his draft stock here. And this is obviously great for them, like you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, kind of looking back at kind of how you mentioned it, on the defensive end, Arizona held it down. Defensively, they forced tough shots. Iowa State shot 29% from the field and 23% from 3. And on the season, they're a 38% three-point shooting team. And then their 57-point output was the second lowest all year. Iowa State, they couldn't get a field goal to go for 5 minutes, and that's how Arizona took advantage, extending the lead to 15 points. Their best player, Milan Momcilovic, the nation's best 3-point shooter, you need your best players to show up in big games, and he, quite frankly, just didn't. He had 5 points and shot 1 for 5 from the field. And I know you mentioned Braden Burries. Shout out to him, Eastvale, Eleanor Roosevelt legend, standout freshman. He accounted for 45% of Arizona's first half points via scoring and assists. The Arizona Wildcats, we know they're going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the whole tournament, and this was just a sign of it.
For sure. On top of Momcilovic, Joshua Jefferson, another one of their top players. He goes 2 for 17 from the field in this game, right? You cannot expect any success late into a season, into March, if your best players, one's going for 5 points, another is 2 for 17 from the field. It's just not sustainable. I think this Iowa State team has showed shades throughout the year, but it's very clear that they're not in that top echelon of college basketball or even the Big 12.
The Anaheim Ducks saw their hot streak turn ice cold on Tuesday night as the NHL-leading Colorado Avalanche skated away with a commanding 5-1 win. Colorado wasted no time taking control in the early stages. A pair of goals from Cale Makar and Martin Necas opened the scoring midway through the first frame, launching the Avs into the driver's seat the rest of the way. Anaheim was able to cut the lead in half with a Cutter Gauthier, one-timer, but Colorado remained unfazed, extending their advantage to 4 behind the 100th point of the season for the superstar center, Nathan MacKinnon. With his contribution tonight, MacKinnon becomes just the 29th player in NHL history to achieve 100 points in 4 different seasons, and the 16th to do so in 4 consecutive years. The loss marks the Ducks' first post-Olympic defeat and marks their 24th loss on the season. As for the Avalanche, they grow their lead atop the Western Conference to 6 points ahead of their pivotal matchup with the second-place Dallas Stars on Friday. So guys, this was a second game of a back-to-back for the Avalanche, and the Ducks just could not take advantage of the Avalanche's second game. What happened on the ice for the Ducks?
Well, to be honest, it seems like the Avalanche were still very productive. You know, they're clogging neutral zone, dictating the game flow efficiently. Like, it's hard to really do anything when they're doing this, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a testament to how good the Avalanche are. For them to be on the second night of a back-to-back and to come out hot, 2 goals in that first period. And it just felt like from that point on, it was going to be an uphill climb for the Ducks the rest of the way. Of course, we had the Cutter Gauthier goal in the second period, and it felt like, oh, maybe some momentum. And then the Avalanche, being as good of a team as they are, they respond right back. And it just felt like once the Avalanche pounced on them early, it was going to be an uphill climb the rest of the way for the Ducks to even have a chance in this one.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just coming off this Olympic break, too. I mean, this is the 4th game that the Ducks have allowed the opening goal, and they just broke their 5-game win streak, 8 consecutive wins. But, I mean, they still have a winning record, so I don't think this is going to define their season. They did just, win against the Islanders last night, 5-1.
Yeah. And back to Gauthier, he's been on a heater, 8 goals in his last 7 games. But going back to the Avalanche, I mean, they are the best team in NHL by far. They're the first team to hit 90 points, and MacKinnon, he's playing like the Hart Trophy winner. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we approach the playoffs.
Absolutely.
The Los Angeles Lakers are riding high after a victorious weekend with back-to-back victories. On Saturday night in San Francisco, the Lakers dominated the Golden State Warriors with a 129-101 point win. The Lakers were in full control of this game, only trailing for the first minute of the game. A dominant first quarter put them up 33-20 and set the stage for the rest of the game. Dominant shooting from deep also led the way for the Lakers, shooting at a 46% clip and hitting 19 triples. Luka Doncic was the main contributor on the floor, dropping 26 points, with 8 assists and 6 rebounds. LeBron James put up 22 points, matching a season-high 4 made triples to go along with his 9 assists and 7 rebounds as the Lakers ran away from the Warriors for the win. The Warriors struggled to produce offensive power as Stephen Curry missed his 10th game due to a right knee injury. That victory ended a 3-game losing streak and a 3-game skid on the road. On Sunday night at the Crypto.com Arena, the Lakers capped their own. They ended the second night of a back-to-back with a dominating 128-104 win over the Sacramento Kings. Luka Doncic had 28 points, 9 assists, and LeBron James added 24 points, leading the Lakers to back-to-back wins, beating their 2 Northern California rivals. Now, speaking of their back-to-back wins, Saturday was Luka Doncic's birthday, actually, and like I said, missing key players such as Stephen Curry, the Warriors shot 2 for 17 from deep. It's a shame to see their team like this. Sunday, they played the Kings. The Kings have the worst record in the NBA currently, wondering how they got to this state with a current superstar, Russell Westbrook, on their team. And DeAndre Ayton actually shot 6 for 6 playing the Kings, blunting his Clint Capella comparison, as he recently spoke about.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers took care of lesser competition. That's what you want to do when you're a good team. I just want to give just a couple big shout-outs. Luke Kennard, during the 3-game winning streak, 12 points per game, 60% from 3. He's been everything and more that Rob Pelinka could have asked, especially because the Lakers bench at the beginning of the season was struggling. So he's been a nice spark for that. And then just the last 3 games during this winning streak, the Lakers are averaging over 30 assists. More passes are being made, which is allowing the ball to move more and more efficient looks. Hence, they're shooting 41% from 3 during this stretch. You mentioned it, they played the Pelicans on Tuesday, and they won. And honestly, big credit to Jackson Hayes, because his activity won the Lakers this game. He was very efficient when called upon, and he was just very active on the defensive end and on the defensive end. But big stretch coming up for the Lakers starting tonight against the Denver Nuggets. They are 1.5 games back of the 3 seed, and they have competitions against the Nuggets tonight, Rockets, and Timberwolves. All those 3 teams are ahead of them in the standings. So we're going to learn a lot about this team very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think after a 3-game lose streak, having back-to-back victories against 2 Northern California rivals is exactly the pick-me-up that they needed, right? Luka Doncic, 54 combined total points, LeBron with 46. Steph Curry out, that helps, right? But this is also kind of brings up the talking point of, is this the right time to peak? We have playoffs in a month. If they were to go into the playoffs right now, they wouldn't even need to go into the play-ins, being 6th in the West. But, is this going to continue into June for finals?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to take anything away because that's how you right the ship after 3 losses, but it's the Warriors without Stephen Butler. I'm a Kings fan. I know how bad the Sacramento Kings are, and it's the Pelicans, right? Like you touched on, Jonathan. This is a big stretch in the next week and a half. You play the Nuggets twice, including tonight. You play Houston twice. You play the Knicks. In the T-Wolves one time, who are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. I just think, look, it's great, and I like that they're really kind of figuring out their rotation, their 9 guys that they're playing. You talked about Luke Kennard. I really like Jake LaRavia off the bench, too. He provides some real versatility on the defensive end of things. But let's slow our roll. Let's see them win some games against the teams that they'll be playing in the playoffs or in the play-in tournament if it ends up being that way before we start saying the Lakers are back, this is a finals level team, all that. March is officially here, which means for all college basketball fans, it's time for madness. This past weekend, Cal State Fullerton got in on the madness as men's basketball found themselves in a dogfight against the University of Hawaii. After a back-and-forth first half that the Titans narrowly controlled, they tried pulling away late with senior Jaden Henderson hitting a tough fadeaway jumper and later a deep triple from Bailey Nunn to give them a 6-point lead. Hawaii clawed their way back, though, going on a 14-0 run with the big fish, Isaac Johnson, hitting the jumper to give them the lead back. Now, here comes the magic. 15 seconds left, CSUF is down 2, and KJ Garris hits the corner 3 to give them the lead. With no timeouts left, Hawaii's got to go quick. Dre Bullock brings the ball up, nearly loses it, but manages to pass it off and get it back as he takes the shot for the win and nails the buzzer beater to spoil the Titans senior night and break the hearts of the Fullerton fans and players. This loss bumps the Titans down to 7th place in the Big West and 1 full game back from the number 4 seed that would secure a spot in the quarterfinals. So, guys, the way the Big West tournament operates, getting one of those top 4 seeds is so crucial. You get to bypass that first round. A lot of the teams that Fullerton might play in that first round, like UC Davis, like UC Santa Barbara, they've lost in games this year. They've also beat them in games this year, but it's a testament to how tight the Big West race is as a whole, and this was, against one of the top teams in the Big West, a tough game to lose in the fashion that they did.
Yeah, I look back to the words that you said at the end. Heartbreaker. Just a true heartbreaker. The Titans did everything right in this game, but they just got the bad end of the stick. I mean, when you shoot 42% from deep, you only have 7 turnovers, and you have 5 players score in double digits. That is hard. That's a hard game to lose. But, you got to push it to the side. And if we're going to nitpick why the Titans lost this game, it's because they missed 8 free throws. You got to take opportunity. You got to take your opportunities, and they just didn't. Got to, like I said, push that to the side. And their next game is against UCSD. And the Titans earlier in the year, they beat them by 17, and they shot a season best 51.7% from 3. So they're going to have to do the same tomorrow, I believe. Today or tomorrow?
Today.
Yep, today.
I agree. Really a truly heartbreaking defeat, but you said they do everything right. But their defense was folding a bit in the second half, allowing 55 points. And it just wonders, where did they break down? What players couldn't they stop to allow this to happen?
Yeah, and I mean, it's never fun losing on your senior night, right? But, I mean, the last time Fullerton met up with Hawaii, it was a 10-point differential, and now it's a 2-point. So I think that shows either improvement for Fullerton or not improvement for Hawaii. But, passing chemistry, this is an all-new Fullerton team, basically, and this was a close one. I mean, there were 15 lead switches, and no one led by double digits the whole game.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to how good Hawaii is. They're at the top of the Big West, and for them to, weather a storm like that, start a little slow and storm back like that, it's a testament to how truly good they are, and also a testament to the Titans for hanging with the top of the Big West.
Directing our attention back to the association, we are just over a month away from the NBA playoffs, and the standings continue to tighten up in both conferences. So let's dive into our first timeout talk of the semester. Guys, I'm going to provide 3 statements about a certain team, and you're just going to tell me if it's legit or ludicrous. So the first statement is going to be LeBron James will leave the Lakers in the offseason and not retire.
That's ludicrous, dude. That's ludicrous.
I'd say that's at least partially legit.
I think, look, his son is with the Lakers. I find it very, very hard to believe that when you have the opportunity to be on the same team, unless Bronny gets traded or cut by the Lakers, right? I find it very, very hard for a father to not want to continue to play basketball in the same organization as his son. And I also think he's 41. He's moved around throughout his entire career. This isn't like Tom Brady, who spent his entire career with the Patriots and last second, I'm going to the Bucks. Like, I don't think at 41 years old he'd want to go to another team. I think it's with the Lakers or he calls it quits.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a one-year contract right now, and he even said back in 2024 that he doesn't want to be that guy that's playing until the wheels come off, right? So I think he's on his way out, and the Lakers do still need to pay Luka Doncic as well.
I personally say it's legit. I mean, partially legit, like I was saying. Bron, I don't see him retiring anytime soon. He's with his kid, obviously. I heard something a little while back. He's waiting for his other son to enter the NBA at one point, and I'd say he's still pretty young. He's got some time left. He got some stuff left in the tank.
LeBron's pretty young?
Yeah, he's pretty young.
Okay. I'm going to go. Look, Joseph, you make some very valid points because, he is 41 years old. Why would you make a move, right, at this late in your career? But I'm still going to go with you. I think it's legit because, one, the relationship with the front office and the Lakers, with LeBron, it kind of just seems a little bit rocky. And, the Lakers with Doncic and Reeves on the floor have a better net rating than having all three of them on the floor together. It just makes most sense for the Lakers as an organization to go your separate way and really go into this Luka Doncic era. So the next up part is going to be, despite the injury, Cooper Flagg will still win Rookie of the Year over Con Knippel. And I'm going to jump in real quick. This is ludicrous. Con is on a winning team, right? And he's putting up similar points per game as Flagg. Flagg has him beat by just 1 point per game more. And Con is 44.2% from three, and he's shattered the three-point rookie record. And like I said, he's on a winning team. If MVPs are being judged by winning records, why can't a Rookie of the Year award be judged by a winning record?
Absolutely, and also to add on to the three-point record, I don't think we realize how insane it is to break the rookie three-point record in February. He did it in February with many, many games left to play. When Keegan Murray did that a couple seasons ago, it was already he broke Damian Lillard's record. This is huge. This dude did it in February, and he's got a Hornets team that hasn't been great. Obviously, you got LaMelo, other pieces in the playoff conversation. They're above 500 right now, so I think it's absolutely ludicrous for sure.
I think it's legit. I mean, I think Cooper Flagg he's only been out a month, and he's questionable for tonight, so he's going to be back any time now. He averages just over Knippel, but I mean, of course, Knippel, the bets are in his favor right now, but that's because Flagg is out.
I would also arguably say it could be legit. You guys bring up very valid points, breaking records and whatnot, but Flagg is the truth here, man. Missing the past 8 games, that's not very good for, obviously, his competition in this race, but his first 2 games, he's averaging 20 plus. I mean, it's clear to see he's gonna have some way in this. It's not gonna be a complete landslide. He's gonna have his way here and definitely put up a good fight for this thing.
Yeah, real quick, since we're on the topic of the Mavericks, Jason Tatum making his return tomorrow against the Mavericks for Boston. Just crazy that in less than 10 months he's already back on the court after tearing his Achilles. Now, last ludicrous or legit, the Spurs are the favorites in the West, not the Oklahoma City Thunder. What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of legit. I'm going to kind of be the lame person who kind of has his foot on both sides here. But OKC is 1-4 against the Spurs this year, right? And I think if you look at the rosters and the way these teams operate, the Spurs would be a nightmare matchup for OKC. I think what OKC has an advantage over so many teams is Chet Holmgren and his athletic ability to play in the paint and also outside. When you have Wemby, that's the kryptonite for a player like Chet Holmgren. Not to mention that the Spurs can go deep into their bench, which is also something OKC can do. I don't know if I would say that the Spurs are the favorites to win the West, but I think if these two teams match up in the playoffs, I like San Antonio.
I kind of agree. I mean, I was also 50-50 when I was looking at this, but I'm going to have to say legit because the Thunder have a better record. They're on a 4-game win streak. They're the defending champions. However, the Spurs dominate in turnovers in the league. Victor Wembanyama moves like an NFL receiver, and the Spurs are 4-1 over OKC.
I have to say ludicrous. I mean, the Thunder, I'd say they're the favorites. We're talking about favorites here. Although they're not in a nicer place geologically, they're young, they're defending West Conference champions. They've got favorable players in the media. People like these players. I'd say they're at least the favorites in this situation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ludicrous as well. I am kind of with you. I'm half in, half out, but I'm going to swing the other way, Ludicrous, because, yeah, I get it. Spurs have dominated Thunder in the regular season. But look, OKC is still beating tough quality competition. They beat the Knicks yesterday. They beat the Nuggets a couple days ago. They're still getting those big-time wins, and they are not healthy. They have not been healthy all season. We haven't seen Jalen Williams yet. We haven't really seen SGA just came back from injury. So I'm going to still go with the Thunder being the favorites in the West.
Yeah.
All right, that about wraps everything up. Thank you for tuning in. Please give us a follow on Instagram and X at TitanTVCSUF and on TikTok at TitanTV_CSUF. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of
Titan Sports.
Yo, guys, that was great.